Hi, I'm Jasmine Burton, aka Jazzy Beats.
I'm Elizabeth Booker Houston, aka Booker Squared, and this is No Distractions, where we're cutting through the political BS.
And honestly, we're going to talk about all the distractions that are currently in the news because I know that we all open our phones, we see the headlines, and it's easy to get grabbed in by the headlines, but all of them are so misleading.
So misleading all of the time, and I think a lot of it is because, one, people don't have the attention span to go in depth, and two, you have people constantly trying to crank out the news and crank out breaking news every 2 seconds because, I don't know, this whole administration is nothing but chaos and confusion, and so there's just a lot of things that we have to sift through.
And I think that's one of the main reasons why we started this little segment called No Distractions is to call attention to the fact that a lot of these headlines are distractions. One of the main things that we see in the news right now is this big Planned Parenthood case. It's Medina versus Planned Parenthood South Atlantic, which is basically trying to determine whether or not states can cut Medicaid funding to Planned Parenthood or other clinics that provide abortions, when in fact, that's actually not the issue. It's not about abortions. This would actually stop Medicaid funding to clinics that are able to provide women with pap smears and just basic reproductive needs, not even reproductive, womanhood needs that we need in order to stay safe and healthy. I get my pap smears at Planned Parenthood. I also got my birth control at Planned Parenthood.
And again, it's a distraction, right? They intentionally went after Planned Parenthood as the defendant in the case because they know that Americans will tie Planned Parenthood to abortions, even though that's not even the majority of what they provide to people. And then with other distractions, there's an issue with not giving all of the details of the case, right? Well, there was a Supreme Court decision that came down talking about probationary employees. We need to make sure that even on the left, we are paying attention to things like unintended consequences. For me, I'm thinking, yeah, it makes sense that you don't want nonprofits to be able to bring a lawsuit on behalf of federal employees who were terminated, right? If they're not a union, if they're not the state, that doesn't make sense. Because what happens if you get people on the left into office and they start firing all these little Heritage Foundation employees that are all up and in the government? What happens? Now the Heritage Foundation can come in as a nonprofit and sue for these fired federal employees. We don't want that, right? And these are things that you don't see in the articles are being discussed. Everything is either painted as it's this way or it's that way. None of the gray area is addressed.
And for those of you that are like, I don't have time to be reading through all the articles, I'm just trying to learn everything, see the headline, keep it moving. This is why it's important to find a trusted news source. You can follow trusted content creators, you can follow members of the Congressional Black Caucus. All of these groups do a very, very good job of keeping you informed and also teaching you truth.
And that's the thing is we've got to make sure that we get to the truth. And you can have some opinion in there. We have our opinions all the time, very freely, okay? But you want to make sure that it's an informed opinion, an educated opinion. I feel like, once again, this whole George W., talking about W, not the daddy, leaving the children behind, you should have left some of them behind. Some of them should have been left behind. Okay? Because now we're struggling. We're on the struggle bus together. We all on this struggle bus together getting schooled, okay? And I don't like the fact that I'm losing recess because Timmy next to me decided he wanted to follow a conspiracy theory. Now everybody got measles. Anyway, this is No Distractions.